What's good, y'all? It's your girl Alexis with Recap Sports Focus, and we got Big Boss in the building.
Yeah, it's Recap Sports Focus, and we in the building. Ooh-wee. We
That's
got a
right. Recap,
recap,
all facts.
a lot of Recap Sports Focus, no cap today.
You know,
Man,
how you doing,
man.
boss?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited, man. What a great football weekend. How about yourself, Lexi?
Good. I feel like Thanksgiving, they treated us right for
Yeah.
Thursday night football. They treated
Oh,
us
yeah.
right. I like this new thing for Friday too, though.
Yeah, it's a little something different. First time ever
Yeah.
being done in the NFL before. I think fans loved it. Families
Mhm.
loved it. It's
I
something
think they're
new.
supposed to do it moving forward.
Hey,
A
it's all
black
for the ratings.
a Black Friday. I think they called it Black Friday
Yeah,
football.
Black Friday, right. And the
Mhm.
ratings were through the roof. The
You see what
ratings
I'm
were stuff.
saying?
Yeah.
People already at home stuffed. So you know what I mean? I ain't got nothing but leftovers and
Nothing but
time to
love.
watch a game. Because ain't nobody
Right,
doing nothing but shopping.
right. And then, for the guys, they're not going out shopping. That's for the wives to do. And so the guys,
Not unless they trying to get some sneakers.
there you go, or some golf
No.
clubs.
Right. So let's just go ahead and dip into it. Let's talk about Thursday night or just Thursday football, period. And let's start with the Packers versus the Lions, which you were actually right on with your
Oh,
prediction about the Green Bay Packers beating the Lions.
oh, say it ain't so.
I
West
gotta
Coast
say,
Solid.
your prediction was almost like spot on. Almost.
Oh, say it ain't so.
It
I
is
wish
so
Coach Solid
close.
was here. Yeah, I wish Coach Solid was here because he
Right.
straight said cap, all cap. Are
He
you
did.
serious? The Green Bay Packers ain't gonna beat. Hey, Green Bay Packers can't beat the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are, I believe I heard
Yeah.
you say, Lexi, they're 8-2. The Packers only won 4 games. You know what? You guys were right. But in this case, there was so much details that went into this particular game. And I don't think you guys, normally I would say, yeah, Detroit Lions, they could have probably beat Baltimore that day. They probably could have beat the 49ers, but they wasn't about to beat Green Bay. Why? Well, Green
Yeah.
Bay had the last 2 games they played, they had a fighting attitude. They decided that Aaron Rodgers is gone, Devontae Adams is gone, and then they lost their star running back. And I saw in the locker room when he went out, they had made a vow that they were going to finish this season hard. And the quarterback, Jordan
Mhm.
Love, had threw for almost 300 something yards the game before. So he's on a roll. The team's fighting. And I watched Detroit. Detroit stunk the place up against the Chicago Bears. They
Right.
had four
So then it's like to
turnovers.
look like this.
Right. Okay, you're 8-2, but you're sliding in victories. You're not really dominating anybody. You came back with 3 minutes left to go in the game by being down 12 points by the hair of your chin. You won that game. And
Yeah.
that was to an under 500 ball club. So I kind of figured, and then they have history. So I'm thinking, no, I put my money on Green Bay, and sure enough, one of the
Yeah.
things was, do you know how many starters? I'm gonna tell you what this victory did. It could have killed a lot of morale for Detroit because
Mhm.
Green Bay had lost 3 of the starters on their defense, and they played.
They were already
You talk
crippled.
about yeah, you talk about next man up. So great
Yeah.
game. Hats off to the coach. Coach, you coached a hell of a game. Jordan Love, if you're listening to me, Jordan Love, son, you played with confidence. Go out there and play your game of football. Don't let nobody tell you you're not an NFL quarterback. Go out there and play the way you play, son. You got a hell of an arm.
Yeah, I think they picked them for a reason, but honestly, the Packers dominated the first half. And like during the first drive of the game, they scored their touchdown. So they was already letting you know what type of business they were on. And I think the Lions' issue in the first half was they weren't getting those first downs.
Well, you couldn't. The pass rush was all in their face.
They were in their face every
pass rush.
They got. Wow. I'm like, dang, like, okay, defense. Like, even though they're that middle team, nobody was really like focused on the Packers, but I guess you see some spark in them when, for one, they got a little heart in the game, but two, they just gonna give it they all, regardless of what that record looks like.
Yeah, and Detroit, came out with early turnovers.
Two of them
killed the morale for Detroit.
Yep.
And the pass rush kind of rattled.
And they were blitzing. They were blitzing Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff got rattled, and then it was just a little bit too late at the end of the game. Toward the end of the game, when they tried to put together. Well, third quarter they came out. I guess coach tried to make some adjustments. Shout out to the coach at Detroit. He's used to be a great offensive lineman. Yeah, he's got a fight attitude.
They got 8 points in the third quarter, so you seen them trying to have like a spark. But it was like for you not to score in the second quarter, they scored the first 3 quarters. So you kind of left it to where they didn't really need to do much in the fourth quarter because their defense was gonna hold them back anyways. It's like you should have scored something, like a field goal, something in the second quarter.
I can't agree with you more. You know what I mean? You had an opportunity, you got the ball back, but you were going 3 and out, and the defensive pressure got to you. Nobody was able to make the big play. Well, you know when they made their mistake? They didn't go to the number 1 receiver. I know he was double covered sometimes, but I don't even know. I don't want to mispronounce his name, but their star receiver, number 4, come out of the University of Ohio. We'll talk about that game for a quick second anyway. That was a great college game between Michigan and Ohio. That is called the game. They played it up at the Big House in Michigan. But I thought they should have went to him more. But they tried to get a running game started, and it wasn't happening. It was just, I don't know, man. They got caught in the mix. Sometimes I believe teams allow the other team to dictate what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. Sometimes you have to stick to the script.
But that's exactly what the Lions' problem was. It was miscommunication. Like the offense was going the wrong route, and it's like, okay, you're supposed to be over here, but you're going this way. The communication was horrible. So I'm like, so now y'all having communication issues amongst yourselves?
Yeah,
that's the last issue that you want, is to have communication issues. That means y'all not on one accord. And it's too late in the season for you not to be on one accord.
Yeah, especially when you're playing at home. You're playing at home. You got the fans on your side, but the fans never were able to get in the game.
Hey, what more do you want?
Well, this bad timing, and you got to put a lot of that on Jared Goff. He just seemed to never not be able to get rid of the ball soon enough. I mean, there was nobody open. You got to give it to the secondary of Green Bay, and they didn't even have their star player, Rasul Douglas, who got traded. They didn't even have their star corner. I mean, these were a lot of backups. And, man, they played a hell of a defensive game. Got to give it to Green Bay. I was just impressed how they stepped up, and Goff fell apart after that.
Yeah, it was a wrap. And this is when we go back to what I was saying. Remember when we were talking about it the last episode about if you had to pick Dallas or Green Bay, or not Green Bay, the Lions, I was like, which one you gonna go with? And y'all was like, well, we wouldn't rule out the Lions. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not. I'm still not gonna rule them out. But that game, You still got to
Also,
go.
they
I
played
mean,
sloppy.
yeah, that's one of well, because the opponent made them play sloppy.
So what you think
See,
Dallas gonna do?
well, I mean, I don't know.
They gonna look a hot mess.
We have to see the trend. If they would have played Dallas tomorrow, I'd say I'd feel sorry for the Detroit Lions.
You would.
Maybe in a couple of weeks, yeah, I would. If they had to play Dallas
Yes.
tomorrow, I'd feel bad. But if they got a couple of weeks of good, getting their rhythm back and getting their confidence back, I think it'd be a good 50-50 game.
Right. We
Not,
would
not
if
right
they
now.
played Dallas tomorrow, we would be telling them sorrows prayers, in the words of Queen Charlotte. Okay.
Without a doubt. I don't think the NFL really wants to run against Dallas right now. Dallas is one of the
No.
hottest teams in the NFL, along with the
Top
San
three.
Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some teams you just, right now, they're getting playoff ready. You just don't want to run across.
Exactly. So since we're talking about the Cowboys, let's go into the second game of the day. Cowboys versus the Commanders, and we stomped them. Just understand, we stomped them. 45-10.
Watch out for the
in
Dallas Cowboys.
Hmm.
Watch out for the Dallas Cowboys. Washington Commanders never had a chance. They never stood a chance. I saw a little fight early in the first half. I saw, some great tackling in the open field.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought there was great play calling from McCarthy. I just think having that balanced attack for Dallas, everything seemed to be working. And they didn't even go to CB Lamb early in the first half. All the other receivers were catching great passes, first down after first down. But my player of the week is Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is in such a rhythm right now. He's making all his tight spiral throws. I mean, he's putting it right in the breadbasket of the receivers. I mean, Dak Prescott is playing all pro football right now.
Yeah, I think what happened in the first half, I saw them kind of fix, which McCarthy always does. I feel like McCarthy's that type of coach where he's like, let me just put like a crazy play out there, make it big and grand, like where he has to throw long. And then it's like, okay, it didn't work. All right, let me calm down. Let's get back to getting these first downs and stuff. Because I think they came out, Dallas needed to calm down just a little bit, relax. Because it's like they was trying to have big plays back to back. And then I will say Lamb, I was shocked he had 2 penalties. I was like, wait a minute, holding?
Yeah, well, they got a block too.
Yeah, I get it, but dang, sir, 2 of them back to back.
Well, you know what, Alexi, you kind of want to see your receivers, holding a little bit because that lets you know they're out there fighting. You know what? Technically, a referee can call holding on. I see holding on every play. I mean, it's almost impossible to stop someone from going past you while you're trying to block them. But they just kind of let them fight a little bit, long as you're in front of the player and not pulling them from going away from you.
Yeah.
If you could be. I mean, I see holding on every down, but if you're pulling away from someone and you're still holding on to them, they're going to throw the flag on you. So, it just says that CB Lamb was trying to help his teammates.
Yeah, I gotta give it to him, but I love how you're giving a shout out to Dak because let's be for real, Dallas has been averaging 31.5 points a game.
Hey, that sounds like a quarterback playing top-notch football.
That sounds real good. I ain't gonna lie though, my shout out gotta go to DaRon Bland for making history with 5 pick sixes in one season.
DaRon Bland, son. Wait, we got our eyes on you.
We watching. Make some more history. He probably gonna get 5 more.
Well, I don't know about that. That would be
he probably gonna
unbelievable.
I ain't gonna tell you no lie, because he might get 5 more.
He looks like he got 2 or 3 more innings. But I tell you what, he reminds me of Deion Sanders. Got that quick inside step, the quick read, strong tackler. I like it, but you know what I like most about what he does? Once he gets the ball, he tries to take it to the house. I'm not just
Yeah,
intercepting the ball and just going to sit on it. No, I'm taking this thing to the house.
because you know
I
he has a
would,
history of being a running back, so you know he's gonna do something.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they put him in the backfield a couple of plays.
I
Why
wouldn't
not?
be surprised too. Or like, oh, what if he did like a punt return?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, you can utilize him in a lot of places.
You
You know,
could.
yeah, because he's an open field runner. He makes
Mm-hmm.
people miss.
You put him
Five
anywhere.
pick
But this is where
sixes.
I'm like, dang, like I
Well, you know,
wonder
it's
what's
one
gonna
thing.
happen now.
You know, it's one thing. The average defensive back averages 2 interceptions a season.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's got. Not only does he have 5 interceptions, but he's got 5 pick 6s. Five to the
That's bigger
house.
than an interception. That's
Yeah,
big.
they know about you. Know, that's almost making your defense
Look like an
put up more
offense.
points. Yeah, put up more points in your offense.
Sir.
5 pick 6s.
Five, 30 points
That's 30
by
points.
yourself.
I mean, well, you know, it still records for the team, but 30 points. I mean, come on, that's like a whole victory. That's
And
one
within
the one.
itself.
Yeah, that's a whole game victories. You
And I
know,
just
you can
gotta give it
literally
to
say
defense.
that you can put a victory on his back alone. That
Yeah.
he can win you a football game alone because he scored 30 points worth of interceptions. That's one victory you can add to him. And
And
that's the
now
way.
what and now what the debate is becoming is, are they starting to look Dallas 95-ish? Are they because they I'm not saying it's identical, but we got some strong pieces and the way the plays are going and just how they're getting better game by game. I think we got a formula here now. And it was like we got rid of so many pieces, but the one thing that I feel like Jerry Jones always had a problem letting go of was one, either a quarterback, or two, it was a coach.
Yeah.
And I think things just got better for us once we let go of Kellen Moore. And now look how Kellen Moore plays with the Chargers.
Yeah, and you know, I also now this is just my opinion. I believe Jerry Jones is the kind of owner who likes to be hands-on too much with the team.
Of
You
course.
know, kind of Al Davis. You just kind of got to get out of the way, trust your coaching staff, and let them do what they do. If they don't win, then remove them. But you know, you can't. You know, there used to be a guy named George Steinbrenner. He owned the New York Yankees, and he
Mm-hmm.
would pretty much call plays from the booth. I mean, who? I mean, he's up there trying to call pitches. So who are you? You know, you
Right.
never played ball a day in your life. You know, sometimes you got to let the professionals do what they do. You know, and I just think somebody got to him, whether it be his son or his daughter. Hey, Dad, just fall back a little bit. You know, you got some good pieces in here. This is a good team. Let them play football.
Right. And you
Yeah.
know, Dallas defense, got to give a shout out to them for applying some excellent pressure to the Commanders offense because they looked horrible. And I think penalties were the Commanders' issue as well.
Well, they definitely had. You know, when a team doesn't have like explosive firepower, when they don't have
Mm-hmm.
like great running backs or superstar receivers, a power running back. I mean, a power offensive line. Then the next thing you know is you start seeing mental breakdowns where you see a lot of miscommunication penalties.
Yes.
Because that's basically them, not concentrating and making a lot of mental mistakes.
And
I can just
here's what's even
imagine.
more crazy, because this is how you know the Commanders look bad. They barely use Parsons like that. That's how
Yeah,
you know it was bad. You saw other key defensive players like Odigizua and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, he didn't need to do anything.
well, they were doubling Parsons, and that opened the door for the other deep tackle. And Parsons, they can only hold him so long. Late in the game, he started
Yeah.
striking. He got a couple sacks, or one pressure and one sack late in the game because he's just a relentless player. You're not going to hold him
Yep.
back forever. For what it's worth, I expected just a little bit more from Washington Commanders. Got to give it up to Coach Rivera. He's a heck of a coach.
He
He
is.
came out. Yeah, he came out of the Panthers. He got let go, fired from coaching the North Carolina Panthers, and then then he went over into the Washington and kind of saved that program. I think he'll do a lot better next year with some better draft picks and maybe some trades. But right now that game it was
They
kind of
they're looking washed right
yeah,
now.
it was, and Dallas was just scoring at will. That secondary was just really olaying. I mean,
It's like Dowd. We got to give a shout out to Dowdle, the backup running back for Dallas. He had a nice touchdown at the end of the first quarter. So it's like, again, they were using different pieces. Pollard got some in.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter, you guys went to the power running game. Pollard ran. He began to pad his stats later in the fourth quarter. I mean, It was just run, run, run.
Agreed.
Good game. Cowboys looking good. I expected them to play the way they did, and they did it. They didn't lower their standard down to the caliber of the Washington Commanders. They played with heart, and they took no prisoners.
And just to put it into perspective, no sacks.
No sacks. See that's
no
just goes
sacks
to show
or
you
yards lost.
That just goes to show you that the defensive line, the pass rush was. Yeah, I mean, Dak was just back there going grocery shopping.
Dak could do whatever he wanted to do in that game. The world was his oyster. Bro, just try something. But I like how he's picking up his speed, because that was an issue for him, like picking up the speed and getting out the pocket. So now that he's able to go long but get them out even much faster, I got to give it up to them and seeing the improvement within their offense, which is why I'm saying it wouldn't be too far-fetched to say that Dallas can't go further than what they have gone in the playoffs. Now, I'm not going to shoot for the stars and say the Super Bowl, but the way they're playing right now, I could definitely see them in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, well, when they get there,
they're going to get there, but we're going to have to fight for it for sure. But
and when they get there, they're going to have some good company.
And the fact that I'm liking that they're switching out their players, this is good, because our key players that we're going to need them healthy later down the stretch. So I like how, even though it looked disrespectful to the Commanders, I'm glad they took Dak out of the game at 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Well, that's what you need to. The score was already up by 25.
Go eat your turkey leg.
Yeah, they were up by 25, 30 points. There was no need to keep Dak in there so he could accidentally get his ankle rolled up on and get
No. We're not going to do that. And they already upset. No.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You take your star players out. And then that way you give your backup some burn. Let them get out there.
Because at some point, everybody's going to play. I don't care what nobody say. At some point, you're going to be on that field in the playoffs.
Yeah,
and I don't want you rusty because they don't pull you in. You know what I mean? I'd rather you be like, okay, I got some rhythm. I know what it's like to play those tough teams that we haven't been able to beat yet. Things like that. And that's why I'm like, the next, I don't be naive to think that Dallas is not preparing for the Eagles already for that home game.
Well, what a game. That's 10 days away. Mm-hmm. Both teams shall be rested.
But of course, we'll play the Seahawks next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some good games, coming up.
Boy. Yeah, just like this next game we're getting ready to talk about.
I know. The Niners versus the Seahawks.
Bang, bang, not a game.
Yeah, y'all did.
Bang, bang, not a game.
But I expected nothing less from y'all. We already knew this was going to happen to the Seahawks. Although y'all are a rivalry, we knew what was up.
Well,
defensively alone, they could stop that pass rush.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I expected Seattle to play better than what they did. I was a little shocked because I mean,
Cuzzo,
really,
don't
I was
don't cap and try to give them credit like that.
no, I'm not giving them credit because they obviously I knew we could win the game, but I expect them to play a little bit better. You got two of the top more better receivers in the NFL, but see, the offensive line just kept having breakdowns. You know, Gino, he wasn't even
Yeah.
giving them he wasn't given a chance to do nothing. And a couple of those times, it looked like he just took the sack. You know,
Mm-hmm.
throw the ball away. I mean, you know, you just don't stand there and hold on to it. And even late in the fourth quarter, which I don't want to get ahead of myself, but he just took the sack. He just sat there and then bend down. I mean, throw away the football. You know, throw it down at the ground near a player, a receiver. Don't just sit there and take the sack. I didn't understand anything myself.
And I think we gave them too much credit in our game predictions, Cuzzo.
Yeah, really,
Because
maybe you're right.
we said 23-18, 34-21, 37-10.
See, that's what I'm saying. I thought they were going to play better than that. You know, they
We
did.
definitely we tried to give them some credit. I think
Yeah,
we were pretty much spot on with what the Niners were gonna look like, but
right.
we gave way too much credit to the Seahawks. I think we have to let go. They are not the same.
Yeah, that was horrible. You know, but the offensive, and you know what? They got some players on that team, but the defense is old. I saw something. You know, Bobby Wagner and Brooks, those guys are getting up there in age, and you know they can't keep up with Debo and Ayuk, you know, Ayuk and Jennings.
Yeah,
But you know what the real problem was? They kept forgetting about Kittles. See, and he was wide open a few
all the
times.
time.
Yeah, I was like, you know, what is going on? These guys are old. They've been in the league 10, 12 years, and it's just catching up to them. I saw old defense, you
Yeah.
know, and
But the
yeah,
Niners, they wasted no time in the first drive too. So it was another game
yeah.
where
And you know
that
what?
dominant team just wasted no time and they just scored.
Can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I when I cut the TV on, they had 7 points already. I went, whoa!
I looked and they were already like on the other side of the field. I was like, oh, okay. So the first couple of minutes, y'all was about that business. Y'all was letting the Seahawks know what's up.
I
But
just
that's when
think
I
that.
already knew what to expect at that point. Then I'm like, you just letting them run.
Well, the game
McCaffrey.
was in the third
Oh my
quarter.
gosh.
It was
McCaffrey too.
23. Yeah, well, let's say in the third quarter it was 23-10, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had the ball, and they began to march. And I think they scored. Did it become 23-17 or something like that?
I'm
I
about to
think,
tell you.
what was the final score?
The final score was 31-13.
Okay, so
It was in the third quarter. It was 24 to
24-13, right?
13. And then
Yeah.
they scored that touchdown in the fourth quarter.
Well, before they got the field goal to before they got the field goal, I think the score was 24-10. And
Yeah.
they were marching with the ball. And I said, see, this is what Seattle normally does. They come out in the third quarter strong, they make some adjustments, and they're pushing. They had an opportunity right there that if they got all the way down and got into the red zone, because they could have easily scored a touchdown, right, and made this a one possession game. But they
But they
self-destructed.
weren't going to do that,
Yeah.
not with that defense.
Well, they self-destructed. You know, they had a couple sacks when they got inside the 30 or 40. They marched down the field, got inside the 30 or 40, had a couple sacks, and before you know it, they were going backwards.
And
I
then
was like,
6 sacks.
yeah.
Didn't my dad say they were going to get 6 sacks?
He could have. I don't remember.
I think he said something like that. He was like 6 sacks. Just wait on it. They got their 6 sacks.
No, yeah, he was talking about Bosa.
He was talking about Bosa. Okay.
They said Bosa gonna have 6 sacks tonight.
He didn't have him by himself, but they definitely got their 6.
Yeah, they was coming from every which way and angle. You
And then
know,
just the turnovers when they got the interception, and then it's
yeah,
nothing. It was a clean win.
it
Y'all
was
just sucked.
pretty clean. Seattle didn't really give too much of a fight in the late fourth quarter. They just
220
kind of
total yards, cousin. Come on now.
they kind of laid down. Well, the defense was stifling, but they just kind of laid down. I didn't see a good fight. I was kind of
No.
shocked, and they didn't have one of their star running backs, Kenneth Walker. If they maybe he could have did a little bit more, but the other running back, he was starting to, he was starting to do good for a minute. Maybe they should have stayed with that game and went to some play action. But I don't really know what to say about that game. They just got out coached, outplayed. They didn't make no big plays. It just was kind of one sided. The
It was
49ers just
it
rolled over.
was. They dominated.
Yeah. But great
Jag.
victory for the Niners. Well, we got a big game coming up. The
We do
Niners
the
in 10 days.
Friday.
We see that. No, I'm talking about the Niners.
Oh, the
We got a big
Niners.
game coming up next. The following game, we see the Philadelphia Eagles. Ooh. Yeah, we got the Eagles next. And I'm like, whoa, what a game.
Yeah. And we'll get into our game predictions pretty soon and talk about the Sunday games that we'll be covering. But
Yeah.
next, let's get into the Black Friday football. The
Well, how'd
Dolphins.
you like that? How'd you like the
Dolphins.
Friday night football?
I thought it was lit. I thought it was something different. People were home. So it's like sometimes when you get that Thanksgiving game and then you have that space in between, sometimes you're like, dang, like they ain't doing nothing on no Black Friday. You kind of want to see an extra day of sports. So to me, it was like the best of both worlds. We
Yeah, I
got
think so
4 days or 3 days of good games before we even reach the fourth game on next Monday to start this
too.
new week off. So I was like, that's how you started for week 12. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I just thought it was fresh. I thought it was so
Yeah.
new and exciting. And they called it Black Friday Night Football.
Mhm. That's how
And
yes, I'm here for it.
yeah, and what better place to play a football game than the mecca of all sports, New York? You
And
know,
then just to get stomped.
well, I mean, I don't think they liked it.
I'm sure they didn't because 34-13 can't feel good.
No, well, once again, Miami Dolphins are one of the most explosive teams in the NFL. They got the leading offense in the NFL, and nobody has an answer for the cheetah,
And I will
Tyreek Hill.
say I was the closest in terms of the prediction for that game.
What you say?
We all said there were some big gaps in the score. So we had a 35-7. I said 28-13. And I think, did you say 45-9?
Yes, that was me. 45-9. What was the final score?
It was 34-13.
Oh yeah. I was. I kind of had a feeling they were going to run the score up.
I was like, they gotta at least get something. Please get one touchdown.
Yeah, one more touchdown. That 45-9 would look pretty good.
But I can't just give props to the Dolphins like they were just playing an excellent game like when they played the Chiefs, for example. They weren't playing that great as either, but I will give shout out to Tyreek Hill because he's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and it was not, the offense for the New York Jets was horrible. You sat your quarterback out. You sat Zach Wilson out, and you brought in Boyle. And Boyle could
Yeah.
do. You were better off with Zach Wilson. Boyle could. A lot of the ball looked like the ball had deflated a couple times in midair. You know, he
Mm-hmm.
couldn't even reach the player. And then he was misreading some of the plays, and he threw behind a lot of the receivers.
But
And then,
did we expect anything less though, Cuzzo? Because I mean,
I mean, if you
it's a young group.
well, if you sit your starters down, and then I mean, you're gonna sit the starting quarterback. You sit him. He was supposed to be the number two. Why are
Yeah.
you sitting him? He wasn't hurt. You sit him down. You coach this other guy, and he's doing worse. You should have stayed with the number two.
Hey, but a
I mean,
hard head make a soft behind, Cuzzo.
I don't understand that. He really stunk the joint up. But then the defense just seemed like they were outmatched. It seemed like they were
Yeah.
just too like the receivers and they couldn't stop the running game. Mozart was running all over the place. I don't. It just looks horrible. The
And then
Dolphins.
the funniest play of the day was Jets got to pick. They got to pick, right? And then they threw a Hail Mary, and then the Dolphins got it, and then scored a 99-yard touchdown.
Yeah, I saw that.
Come on.
And that just
A
came from
99-yard touchdown?
Yeah, he's a great open field runner, but that was a lack of effort. I saw that.
You couldn't have tried.
Wasn't nobody trying to tackle him. I saw people walking off the field. That was embarrassing.
Took they
Come
L.
on, New York Jets, you got to get it together.
That's
you guys
more
are
embarrassing that you let
football.
your head stop you from playing some good football to even try. Regardless if they got it back, you should have stopped them.
Yeah, they're paid professional football players. You don't just give up like that. In my Stephen A. Smith voice, that was horrible. Horrible.
It was. And then just to put it to perspective, the Jets' first half possession was 5 punts and a pick six.
Yeah.
What can you do with that?
Sure was.
You can't do nothing with that. Of course they suck. The proof is in the pudding right there. Of course you suck. Of course you weren't going to win against the Dolphins. It's not that you couldn't because it's the Dolphins, but look what you produced. That was all y'all. I can't say the Dolphins just played exceptional. No, they really didn't. You had every bit of a chance to win this game too. They got in their own way. Come on now. 5 punts and a pick six.
Yeah, well, it's
Stop it.
I feel for the head coach. He used to be a coach for the San Francisco 49ers, assistant defensive coordinator. He decided to take the job to go up there and become a new head coach for the Jets. A lot of people will try to say it wasn't his fault or don't blame the coach. But I'm just going to say this. Coach, you better do something fast, or you will understand what the NFL stands for, not for long. Because what you are doing right there, right now, it just looks like the team is in shambles, and usually the first person they come after is the head coach. And right now, it just looks like he doesn't have an answer for what's going wrong because everything is going wrong. You got players hurt. Your team's not making any movements. You're not calling up players from the practice squad. You're not trading. You're not right now. There's too many veteran quarterbacks that you could have went and got to try to help your team.
Somebody.
You should have went and got somebody. Hey, go get Cam Newton for something. I don't know who you get,
look, Cam is living his best life, making his Funky Friday money. Shout out to Cam Newton. He chilling. He good. He chilling.
Go get Kaepernick. I don't know who you're gonna go get, but get somebody that can come and help this team salvage the season. You had a good young defensive squad. Shout out to the Williams brothers that play for that team, but you need to get somebody that can help you salvage this season because that game right there looked like you guys don't stand a chance. It looked horrible.
It did. So it's like, hey, Then the Jets couldn't convert on third downs, but found a way to convert on a fourth. What was it, 4th and 7?
Well, that was a desperation. I knew they
Come
weren't
on,
going to convert it. I knew they should have just. Well, the game was pretty much over anyway. You
it
know,
was. But
I
then
would
that big penalty for hitting the official too.
have.
I said,
Well,
"Oh, his mouth leaking, huh?"
yeah. See, that's frustration right there.
Oh yeah, that's how they
Accident.
you're too emotional. You didn't let it fuel you. You let it destroy you.
Yeah. Well, nobody likes to lose, and you have people
But
come to
don't be
your
a
house.
sorry loser, cuz don't be a sorry one.
Oh, well, U.S. football, they get mad. You know who was famous for that? The Oakland Raiders. If you
Hmm.
came to the Raiders right there at the Coliseum and you were beating the Raiders up, they start fighting.
Of course,
That's
including the fans.
yeah, that's one thing that they was known for. You ain't gonna
Yes.
leave them out of here talking crazy to us. And you done beat us 40 to nothing. Oh yeah, I bet you that ain't happened.
So
Missed the old Oakland
y'all
Raiders. They didn't call it the black hole for nothing.
keep keep the Jets in your prayers.
Yeah, Jets, come on now. You got to do better. I don't know
Definitely.
who I feel sorry for, the Jets or the Carolina Panthers. This both the organizations. I
The
don't know.
Jets, because the Jets have had a way better chance than the Panthers of actually going places.
Yeah,
Well, we're gonna move right along. So let's get into our game predictions for Sunday Night Football. So the first game we got the Jaguars versus the Texans. What you thinking, Cuzzo? Who gonna win? What's the score?
Jaguars versus the Texans. I think it's a good game. I'm trying to figure out. Hmm. I think that's going to come down to a field goal.
What?
Jaguars versus the Texans. Yeah, because Jaguars have a tough defense. Both teams have a tough
Okay.
defense. Both teams have a strong defense. I think the offense for the Houston Texans is playing just as good as the offense at the Jaguars. Where are they playing at?
This will be, let's see. We're about to find out right now.
See, the Texans don't play good enough to run the lead up on anybody. They play just good enough to come back. They haven't blown it.
Okay, so the Jaguars they'll be in Houston.
Okay, so yeah, I think I'm going to give the game to. I'm going to give it to the Houston. I mean, to the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars will win 31-26. I'm going to say a field goal. I'm going to give you an extra point on the field goal because see, the Jaguars are a little bit more experienced. They got a great running game. I like what I see in Houston, Texas. I just don't think that they're experienced enough.
Oh wow. Well, I'm gonna have to give it to the Texans though, because CJ Stroud is doing some great things. So, but I could see how you said it's gonna be a close game with your 31-26. But I'm gonna have to say it's gonna be, and it's a home game. I'm gonna, but the thing is, too, the Jaguars, they're 4-0 on away games too.
Yeah, that's that experience
But
I'm talking about.
the Texans are 4-1 at home. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
Yeah,
this is probably gonna be like one of the highlight games just for being some
50-50.
good football. I'm definitely gonna say 28-24, but I'm gonna say the Texans got it.
Oh, you going to Texas? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Texas for sure. Yeah. So
Well, I'm
then
definitely gonna be watching this game.
we are. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I haven't really got a chance to watch them play a full game yet. I
They're
like what
really
I see.
impressive. Like, that's why I was like, I can't just say the Jaguars got it. And I mean, they're not too far off in terms of what their records are. The Jaguars are 7-3, Texans are 6-4. So it's just one game off. It could really go either way. But I think what's going to give it that extra oomph is the fact that it's a home game.
Yeah, I like I say, I haven't really got a chance to watch, Houston, Texas, but I like what I see with Coach DeMarco Ryan, and he's got this team believing in themselves,
Yeah.
and the quarterback, C.J. Stroud, I mean, he's got to be the rookie of the year. I mean, this kid's playing way above. Some people would try to say they playing with house money, but I don't know. I mean, what house? This is not a team that has won in the past, and he got a bunch of kids down there who are not like superstars in the league. It's not like these are all pro players. These are people who are down there believing in their coach and having confidence within themselves and playing at another level.
That's true.
So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, so it's again, this is a 50-50 game.
All right.
So let's see what they want to give us. But the next game is the Broncos versus the Browns. Who you got?
Well, I like the Broncos. I like how hard they won, 3 in a row now. I like how tough they're coming back playing, but the Browns got the number 1 defense in the NFL. Browns are playing lights out football. They're ground and pound guts football. I think it's gonna be the Browns. I say the score might be. I still think that they're a low scoring team. I want to say 24-17.
Browns.
Yeah, Browns.
I don't know. I think Russ might be able to do something, and this looks like it's going to be in Denver.
Yeah.
So that don't mean nothing. They see. This is why I'm kind of excited about these games, because they're about even teams,
especially this time of the year.
Yeah, like the Browns 2-2 on away games, but the Broncos are 3-3 at home games. So it's like it's another 50-50. But I'm gonna say the Broncos got this one. But again, I agree with you on the low scoring. I think it's gonna be 21-10.
Wow, you think the Broncos are gonna hold the Browns to 10 points, huh? Okay.
I just want to see what they do with that. But I'm gonna say 21-10. They might surprise me and get another. I almost said 21-14, but I was like, I don't know.
That's a shutdown.
I might say 21-14. But Broncos got it.
You hold an NFL team down to just less than 2 touchdowns in the NFL. That's a shutdown.
I think they got them.
All right.
Stay tuned for it. Next, we got the Chiefs versus the Raiders. And that's a home game for the Raiders.
I'm gonna call this game a cap. That's what I'm gonna call it. This game is a cap.
It's a rivalry.
Yeah, and it would seem as if the Raiders are gonna play tough, and they're playing in Kansas City, right?
No, it's in Vegas.
That don't make a difference.
You're not gonna give them a little bit of credit?
No, Kansas City gonna roll all over the Raiders. They're gonna welcome their new coach to the NFL. They're gonna show them what this rivalry is really all about. I think Kansas City they're gonna take it out on the Raiders. What happened to them against Philadelphia? That score is gonna be like 31-14. If that.
31-14 Raiders, huh?
31-14 Kansas City.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, 31-14.
Okay.
They're gonna be looking And you know Kelsey had a bad game too. Oh yeah, they're gonna put up some big numbers.
Yeah. And it is the Raiders. I can't take that away from them. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 34-14.
Okay, yeah.
I think
Yep.
they may not get that one last they may not get that one last touchdown, but they'll get a field goal just to solidify. But the Raiders, I'm gonna give them at least 2 touchdowns. So I see we agree on that one at least. They're gonna get at least 2. It is a home game. They're gonna be somewhat fired up because we got to give them some props.
Yeah. Well, they coming off a loss.
Yeah.
You know, and it's you're coming off a loss that you should have won, which is a downer, and then you got to fight against the world champion football, Kansas City Chiefs.
So we shall see. Stay tuned. And then our next game, we got the Bills versus the Eagles. That's gonna be a good game.
The Bills
it is a home game. Granted, though, Buffalo's not great with away games, though. Granted, though, it is gonna be in Philly.
Okay, wait a minute. I thought the Niners played the Eagles next.
No, it's the Bills.
Well, who does the Niners play?
They're not playing on Sunday. They just played on Thursday.
Absolutely right. Eagles play Monday night?
Sunday.
Boy, that time went by fast. Unbelievable. Okay. Eagles versus the Bills. Bills better step their game up. I say the Eagles are going to beat them up too. Eagles are playing, Super Bowl type caliber football right now. They didn't really do anything spectacular, but they're controlling the football. Buffalo, they got strong ball control. Buffalo is turnover prone. The quarterback, he's got he's leading the league in interceptions. He's got a great arm, but he's out of control with his turnovers. And the defense shows up one game they won't. And that's just the way you don't want to play when you're playing against Philadelphia.
No, especially not at home.
Yeah, you don't want to play. No. Are they playing in Buffalo?
No, they're playing in Philly.
Oh, yeah, it's trouble. So I think that Philly's going to win that game 30-21.
Oh, then maybe I gave them too much credit. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I'm not going to say that the Bills aren't going to get anything. So I put 42-28. I think it's going to be 2 touchdowns.
That's not a bad prediction because, Buffalo can't put up.
I'm just thinking those 2 touchdowns are going to be turnovers. That's just in my mind. I'm like, they're going to give them at least 2 turnovers. So I'm like, and if they score on it, definitely going to have that 42-28.
Well, you're right. Buffalo can put up a lot of numbers. They can't put up high points. But when you're playing a team like the Eagles who don't turn the ball over much.
Not much.
Yeah, I just don't see them doing it. The Eagles got, top 5 defense in the league.
Right.
Great pass rush. So I don't see them scoring a whole lot on them. That's going to be one of my highlighted games to watch.
Definitely. I feel like we got some good games to cover. Some are some underdogs and you don't really know what direction it's going to go because it's kind of like 50-50, and some are like a no-brainer. But Bills versus Eagles, it really just depends how much the Bills are going to put up, like you were saying. But nonetheless, we know the Eagles are going to score.
Well, I was looking at the schedule, and there's a couple of games that I saw that are just downright horrible. I mean, there are some teams that are both sitting at 3-6, or 4-6, and they're playing each other, And I'm just like, wow, this just doesn't seem like good football, And I'm like, wow, it's sad that people have to go pay good money to go see these teams play, and they just both having bad years, And I'm like, wow, when you're a fan, you root your team on, right? And so I just was thinking, like, wow, if I'm rooting for Arizona Cardinals and I'm a big fan, and then the Carolina Panthers come to town, this is this is like, wow.
Yeah.
And I got family and friends in town, and we want to go see the game. This is horrible.
Horrible. Not the Stephen A.
No. Yeah, this is horrible. Who wants to go see that? So.
Yeah, and then our last game that we're covering is the Ravens versus the Chargers.
Oh, that's too easy.
And it is going to be in LA, but we already know who's taking that home. It's just a matter of what they're going to get. And my prediction is 38-17. I just don't feel like the Chargers have a good enough offense.
Yeah, it just seems too easy. Right now, Ravens are the big bullies in the East. They're controlling their own destiny right now. I mean, between their running game, and they got like a triple threat, because you got a quarterback who can put up 100 yards rushing, just as much as throwing for 250 yards. So, nobody has an answer for that yet. And I just think Philly, and they got a tough defense, and they built the play in the cold, and it's getting colder. I just think
Baltimore
Ravens go in there and just beat on old poor San Diego. Well, LA now.
LA now. Yeah.
I don't think they stand a chance. I don't. Yeah,
they're 2-3 at home, so it's like that clearly doesn't matter. But
they got a good offense.
Baltimore is 4-1 away.
Yeah, okay. See that speaks volumes, and they got a good offense,
but they got a great defense.
I'm talking about
you're talking about Chargers.
Yeah, like Bosa's hurt. Bosa's hurt. Their linebacker is hurt. So you got some key players on that defense, and Bosa is your pass rusher. That's your all-pro pass rusher. You need him. So there's like, I think that score is going to be like 31-16. Yeah, 31-16.
We're not too far off, Cuzzo, because I said 38-17.
Oh yeah, that's it.
we not too far off at all.
Yeah. Ravens all day.
Definitely stay tuned and look forward to these Sunday games, and we'll get to y'all on tomorrow's games. And stay tuned and make sure you subscribe.
Yeah, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. Before we go, I want to say a shout out to John Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines. I know you couldn't coach today, John Harbaugh, because of the 3-game suspension, but your team went out there and fought hard in your name, and they played in the big game. Every year it comes down to pretty much who's going to be in the college playoffs between Ohio and Michigan. And this is history. Michigan hasn't beaten Ohio 3 years in a row since the 60s or 70s. And I just thought it was a great victory. And to the center who broke his leg, Renton, I think his name, this was your senior year. It was on senior day. I know it's tough, son. Get in the gym, rehab it, get back. You're going to be a professional one day, and your team fought for you. So congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines. Go Big Blue! And that's Recap Sports Focus. And we recap all the latest sports, and that's no cap.
No
we
cap.
in the building.
See ya. What's good? If y'all like what y'all saw today, be sure to hit that subscribe button.